Hello there. Today, just very simple 3 aluminum parts. We have one part, we ran a little preliminary test here. This was a part that had very little burr, so this is the least of my concern. These smaller parts have more burr, especially here on the inside contours that you can see here, right? And then on the back side, of course, they are very nice and clean. So what we are going to do, all we should need is to run those on a DM1100C, good edge rounding for paint adhesion and good paint coverage around the edges. The DM1100C is very simple. It has 2 cross belts in the machine, one in the front, grinding right to left, and with a quick release, if you want to change the belts, you can do that very, very quickly, where the belts then come off the pulleys, right? And then you can tension them here again. You have very, very simple controls, simply 2 on and off buttons, one for the cross belt, one for the conveyor belt, with speed controls for both of them. So you can control the speed of the cross belts and also, of course, with the conveyor feed rate. We are going to go slow. These are small parts. You're still going to do hundreds, if not more, in the thousands per hour. Then you have 2 hand wheels, one that sets the depths of the cross belts on the front right, upper right, and then on the lower left, you have the one that is setting the material thickness. Your material is about 6.5 millimeters thick, it's 1/4 inch. And here you have the belt on the back. This one is as you in the feed direction. This one will grind from left to right. And it's a very, very simple machine, very mechanical, well built. You have your dust collection, that's your ductwork coming out on the bottom. It picks up on the left and on the right, where the cross belts brush into these shrouds, and from there, both of the tubes connect on the bottom and join into an 8-inch outlet. So no dust collection from the top. This model is a DM1100C, 1100 millimeters wide, and which is 43.5 inches, and just very simple, just one element, the cross belt in those machines. And I'm going to run in the beginning, I'm going to run the back side of the small part so that you can see that. All we're going to do is we are going to turn our cross belts on, we're going to turn our conveyor belt on, and we're going to go at about 3 feet per minute to get nice maximum edge rounding. And then once I see what that does, if it's on bird side, then I can determine whether that will be enough also for the bird. Very, very tough to see how the parts hold in them, because water is not much coming out. Very, very nice, creamy round edges, quite light, higher ranges. If that is too much, of course you can always do less, right? But you want to have some a little bit too much, and if that is so, that is perfectly fine. No harm done. All we need to do is go a little bit faster. So that was 3 feet per minute, and the pressure was plus. I had a lot of pressure on this part. So what we are going to do here is place this here. We are just going to release the pressure. We're going up 40,000, and we are going to go a little bit faster. We're going to go about 3.5, 4 feet per minute on the conveyor belt. It's running at about, you see these numbers, of course these are just potentiometer setting from 0 to 10. It's running about a foot faster per minute than what the number on the potentiometer shows. Hey, this is way too much, you can always do less, right? But this part probably has most of the burr. You can see it here. So I'm going to run that exactly in that same mode. Actually, I'm going to slow that down a little bit again to 3 feet a minute, but I'm going to bring the brush up just a tad. So, before we were running at -2.5, now we are running at -1.3. So that's 1.2 millimeters lighter, or in inches, it is about 50 thousandths of an inch less. Right, that has a little bit more. It's probably clean, very nicely. And what we're going to do on the back side of this now, here, on this side, we are going to, but I think that demonstrates that we can remove the burr reliably. It's always tougher on the inside contour, but it's perfectly clean, than on the outside contour. And of course, you always have a little bit of a transition then into your cut edge that cannot be avoided. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep that setting, but because it is a non-burr side, we are going to go about 6 feet per minute. There you go. And then you will see a much more temperate edge. Now on the large part, I will have a tough time to simulate that because we already ran it very, very light, very fast. We ran it also about 6-7 feet a minute. That's not uncommon. Here you see basically the result. That's 6 feet per minute on the non-burr. You need to always differentiate between the burr side and the non-burr. This part will be, that will extremely, sorry about that, my camera, but the white line represents the radius. See a very, very, very clean result. Here. Extremely paintable. So, that we don't get confused, this is 6 feet per minute, and this is a non-burr side. And the pressure was, I would call that probably, it's medium to plus. Let's call it plus, right? So, and here, that was 3 feet per minute on the burr side, pressure plus plus. That was 3 feet per minute, and the pressure was only a plus. Right? So, and this here was also 3 feet per minute, and the pressure was plus, just plus, but this was the heaviest burr. The burr was plus on this part. Okay, so now we are getting to this. Like I say, we did a very, very light run, and I can leave this for you. You had a little bit of a cutting defect here. Of course, the machine cannot make up for that. And I can send you this. This was about 8 feet per minute, and the pressure was very light. Yeah, it was almost double minus. So we are going to take the other side where we still have a little bit of fur, and we are going to slow this down to again 4 feet per minute, but we're going to keep the pressure also on the light side, maybe even lighten it up a little bit more to around weight or -1. We always go full speed, of course, on the cross belt. That speed you would only reduce when you run small parts where you're worried about light. Very nice. That'll take paint really, really well. And you will have both good adhesion and good coverage around the edges. So that was about 4 feet per minute. And the pressure was light. Okay, and this was the initial test here. I think I spelled that wrong. I apologize. Pretty good at using our machines, but not always very good at spelling. Is that two in? I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you very much for sending those parts. We will return, and then you get to evaluate. I think you will be very, very pleased with those results.